Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. So today's tutorial will be just on how to spread through a deck of cards. And I'll admit this is something that kind of flew under my radar for a long time until somebody, I think it was 2 videos ago, mentioned it in the comment section. So quick shout out. But I thought, yeah, definitely. I think spreading through a deck of cards is something everyone should know. That and how to shuffle a deck, which, you know, even if it's just an overhand, it's a great thing to know, and how to cut a deck of cards, whichever way you want. I think maybe also how to deal cards depending, but those are things that I think, even if you're not a magician or cardist, you should definitely learn. Just spend a few minutes to learn, and especially if you're doing magic or cardistry, those are things that you should get down really well till they're seamless, till you don't have to think about it. So whatever demographic you fit into, doesn't really matter. Grab yourselves a deck of cards and let's hop right into this tutorial. Alright, so hopefully this angle works right here. I'll be doing it sort of over shoulder view, then I'll switch to the other angle in a sec. But so first off, kind of what it looks like, just to do it, is you take the deck like this and it'll look something like that. So I guess we'll start with the left hand. So the left hand, you want to start in this type of grip. Straddle grip. Alright, so this is called straddle grip. I haven't used that term in such a long time. Forgot. So straddle grip's pretty much where you have your index finger on front, your middle finger and fourth finger on the side, and your pinky supporting the deck on the bottom. So what that means is you should be able to take the deck and tilt it back, and it should rest on your pinky. Now when you do like the Charlier and stuff, you're going in an elevated straddle grip, meaning there's room underneath, but for this you can just drop the deck and just have it in your hand like this. So yeah, make sure you're comfortable with this grip. I know some people spread through the deck from dealer's grip, and while that works, the main issue I have with that is if you spread out like that and you tilt back, there's nothing keeping the cards there. And if you're spreading like this so as not to show the audience something, or if you're gonna do, say, like a card cull like that or something, it's very useful to have your pinky here and makes your spread look nicer, etc. So start in straddle grip, which is like this, and the left hand motion is these two fingers are kind of gonna flatten out, so there's a bevel, and you're gonna take this thumb and you're just going to push cards off like that. So kind of get used to the motion of doing this, then having your thumb take a clump and push it out, then go back and pick up right where it left off and push another clump, and just keep doing that, because eventually what you're going to do is you're going to take that and you're just going to do it really quickly, and you'll create this sort of spread movement just by your thumb doing this super fast. So that's kind of the left hand motion. Underneath, these fingers here are kind of acting as support. So you start here, then your index will, your index stays on top, but it kind of straightens out a little bit, and these fingers just go flat to support. Let's see if I can get a good group. So about this much is held underneath. So these two are just supporting the bottom, your index finger goes up, right? So you should be able to hold about that many cards. So your thumb's here, these two are supporting underneath, index is there, pinky is underneath. And for your right hand, your thumb is gonna come from the side, and I like to place it a bit below center, so about there-ish. And you're going to keep spreading through the deck, and your thumb is gonna be pinching the cards that come up. It's gonna be pinching it onto the side of your index finger, like that. So you should be able to have the cards and just have them kind of clipped right like that. So your thumb goes right there, and as you spread, if you can see underneath, I'm just starting to clip the cards to my index finger. So between the right hand, the clip, and the left hand here in this sort of grip, all the cards are supported, right? And for the other fingers in the right hand, as you keep on going, you'll eventually get to the end of your index finger. Then as you keep going, your other fingers are gonna come under like that because they go a bit farther. So that's a good, I don't know, 3-4 cards more than your index finger. So you're gonna start off like this up to like there. And as it keeps going, the middle finger is gonna come in, then the fourth finger is gonna come in. Then that'll be about how far you can spread out. So quick review, your left hand's gonna start pushing cards off like that. Your right hand thumb is just gonna go there. And it's gonna start pushing cards into your right hand. Your right hand's gonna be applying a little bit of pressure, not too much, just a bit. And you're clipping it to your index finger. It'll keep going, then middle finger, then fourth finger. Then you go to about there, then just stop. Because any farther, cards will start falling like that because they're not supported. But you want to find about the breaking point, if you will, and you want to go right before that because you want your spread to be as open as possible. And in terms of wrist movement, your right hand's just going to bend back a bit to create this sort of arc in the deck. So it'll turn back a bit, just giving the spread a bit of flair, and I don't know, it looks nicer. And if you look from a top-down sort of view, let's see if I can get this, your thumb and index are gonna bring the deck up a bit. So there'll be a bit of curve back, and there'll be a bit of curve up on the side, kind of like that. You'll probably see that more from the front view that I do in a second, but that's kind of what you see. Now, I realized that this movement of pushing is gonna take a while to get down, and it's gonna take a while just to get it completely fluid and make it look natural. And even where I'm at, it isn't the most fluid. Like, I still look at people, I believe Patrick Kuhn has a super fluid spread. Like, he just takes the deck and it just kind of like melts. Like, it's crazy. But it's really about how comfortable you are with your thumb doing this, how quickly you can do it, and how evenly you can do it. Now, eventually it'll get to kind of a trade-off between speed and evenness. For instance, I can do it like super fast like that, but it's not the most even. Or I could do it really slowly and make sure that all the cards are perfectly spaced, but it's not as fast, it's not as fluid. Okay, so from a front-on perspective, this is kind of what it looks like. You just take the deck and you spread it out like that. Am I in focus? Can't tell. I think so. Anyways, hopefully. Last time one shot wasn't in focus and it was the most annoying thing. All right, there we go. So kind of what it looks like from the front side is you get into your straddle grip, you tilt back ever so slightly, so just kind of like that, slight back tilt, thumb goes there, and you start pushing cards off. Then your index finger clips the bottom bit, you keep going, then those fingers go in there, and you should end off sort of in this position here, where there's a little bit of bend in the deck, as you can see, just like that, and there's a little bit of curve, just to give it that nice is that convex? I feel like that's nice curve, nice curve to it. And you can stop about there. If you want to keep on spreading, you just bring your right hand here, you bring it back, you stop the cards with your left hand, you go back and you clip these cards, and you continue. So it'll look like that. You go out, you come back and you clip those cards, go out some more, clip the cards, go out some more, clip the cards, go out some more, and then you'll be done with the deck. And this is especially useful if you're looking through cards, or really anything. Now, just a few things I wanted to point out that I see a lot that, I don't know, it bothers me a bit, is I get, as I said, that after a while it becomes a trade-off between speed, that wasn't even fast, between like speed and making it pretty, right, and making it evenly spaced. But one of the things that bothers me is people who are otherwise pretty decent at Magic or whatever they're doing, wanting the spread to be so perfect that they make it look like they're not really proficient in spreading the deck of cards. What I mean by this is, you'll be going through something, then they'll ask you to choose a card, and this is what you see. Right? And it doesn't feel the same. If you're going to spread a deck of cards, I'd rather err on the side of a bit more speed and having it look a bit more sloppy like that, than to try to make everything look perfect and make it look like you put in less work than you actually did. Let me bring the brightness down a bit. There we go. One other thing that I'd like to point out is spreading straight without the curve like that. Again, it's not wrong, but it doesn't look as good if I do this. If I do this, if I'm like, I don't even know how to do it. It's like spreading slow, then spreading like this. It doesn't feel the same. You know what I mean? And it doesn't look fluid. It's not quite as presentable. And if somebody asks you to choose a card like this, they're like, go choose a card. It's like, it's weird. Whereas this feels more open, then you can offer this to someone, be like, take a card out of this, and they might just grab one, and it'll feel nice, and it's easy, not a lot of work. Something else. Now, I don't want to make it seem like I'm ranting or anything, but there are just a lot of minor details that, I don't know, bother me a bit. And not to say that I'm the best at this in the world. I'm definitely not. But there are minor things that I feel like I'm at the point where I can point out and be comfortable with pointing out. One of those things is having a really small spread, which when it's really not essential. Like, you have plenty of area to grab the cards. I don't even have hands that are that big. I mean, decent, but they're not huge, So there's really no excuse to have a super small spread like this. Like, something else I've seen, it's like, here, choose a card like this, and I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to choose a card like that. Like, it seems like so much more work just to try to take a card out of this, and maybe, maybe it seems like a force, maybe it is a force, but I thought that was something, again, that, it can be improved. It's not the end of the world, but it can be improved upon. And the last thing probably would be spreading without a pinky. Now, I am very much guilty of this. If you look, I probably have videos on this channel. Like, if you go far enough back, you'll find me spreading without having a pinky on the back. Now, this isn't as bad because you can still get a pretty nice spread without having your pinky on the back. But if it starts becoming problematic, say if I want to cull a card, right? Let's just say 3 of diamonds, right? And I do this, right? And I'm going through and I'm doing my pattern, I'm doing my small talk, and we're going through, and then I say, hey, look, normal deck of cards, right? And you cull the card like that. Obviously, I'd be more subtle about it, but you cull the card like that. If your pinky's not at the bottom, when you do this, you'd be forced to have a smaller fan, meaning it'd be a lot slower and you'd apply a lot more pressure, it'd look more awkward. Whereas this, you can look like you're casually just going through a deck, and then when you cull a card and do that, it looks clean, it looks nice. Also, stuff like the Allerton control, I did a tutorial on that. It also becomes a lot easier when you have a pinky on the back, right? You can just show the card, like Send of Clubs, right? And you can do that without having all these squaring up issues that you would if your pinky wasn't at the bottom. all right, because you push it into the deck, and the 7 of clubs is right there. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Thanks for sticking around to the end. Hope I didn't make that any more complicated than it needed to be, but I think, you know, I kept it around the normal time of a tutorial, so hopefully that was good. If you enjoyed this video, consider checking out some of my other content or subscribing. Oh man, it's getting bright. It's getting bright. Boom. And that's it for this video. Leave your thoughts or any ideas for videos. Leave those down in the comments below. I'll read them. And yeah, stay tuned. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.